Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Old World Blues. In the last episode, we hit, was it Coover? I think over here? Yeah, Coover. Who were part of a faction with the Pass Keepers, so we knocked them out as well. We are justifying a war goal against the Great Khans, which are part of the Midnight Union, so we're going to have to redistribute some forces there. Now that we've taken the Pass Keepers, I think this is all impassable terrain. There's a little spot there, there's a little spot there. So yeah, there's some stuff over here we're going to have to take a look at, which is fine. But we'll get to work on that. We're also working on the Navarro National Foci, though it looks like I need to pick one. Air Training Simulator. Just do it. Okay. And we're working through the decisions to absorb peacefully chunks of the map. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, let's get these forces distributed.
Enclave here.
Don't know if I necessarily want...
Enclave here.
We can. You guys can go down here. And then set up like that.
Enclave here.
This army can come over here with orders to do something along these lines.
Enclave here.
This army can set up there. Push into there. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be done. Alright, there's our Advanced Power Armor Mark 1. I don't think there's anything else to work on. Let's see. Repair the turbines on the Hoover Dam. Yeah, we definitely want to do that. Power all ready grids. We are currently working on restoring Naval Base Ventura, Naval Base. Right, further restore Fort Williams, Reese Air Force Base. All right. Air Training Simulator is complete. And that should finish off the Restore Navarro tree. Let's get over here to Uniting the States of America. Like, I don't know how much of this is actually going to be viable. Annex war goal. Yeah, a lot of this is going to be probably pointless, but you know what? Let's just start working on it. Because if it lets us absorb some more territory, it gives us some free war goals. I will take it. How are we doing as far as power grids? Alright, ever since we started putting vertebrate gunships into the air, the Navy has been taking a keen interest in modifying the VTOL for their purposes. After requisitioning a few from the Air Force, Navy technicians have put to work adopting it. Additional tie-downs, sonar module, and slots for additional heavier weaponry to deal with boats of infantry. The result is the VBO-2C Seabird, which the Navy is hoping to push into service soon. Alright, we get that. I mean, I guess we can manufacture them, even though we're not really going to be doing much with the Navy right now. Because, well, we've eliminated any potential naval threats. So, is what it is. We were starting to try to deploy some ships in the Caribbean, which we are starting to do so, to build an Atlantic fleet. Okay, so this whole tree we can't do because New Vegas doesn't exist. We've already dealt with a lot of that. Let's see how much of this we can actually do. Prioritize those repairs. That's Circle Junction. Alright, I think... that's all we can do up there. So then let's go ahead and just queue in everything in Mexico. All right. How is the resistance looking? We still have some, obviously. But yeah, we are eliminating it slowly but surely. Yeah, there's some bits that have gotten missed. Okay. Alright. Do we want to investigate the organ anomaly? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Alright, the greatest power in the waste completes. Support cause partisans is bypassed. Alright, Environmental Protection Agency. It's in the name. When Director Coleus took on trying to rebuild the EPA, he envisioned it more restoring the environment to a post-war state. Lush green fields, trees that weren't dead, even getting rid of radstorms. His biggest threat, he thought, I think he meant pre-war state, he thought he would tackle would be illegal toxic waste dumps or the occasional radioactive crater. So far, the illegal toxic waste dumps were the least of his concerns, and all of it was making him question leaving the army. Aside the cavalcade of absurdity that it was trying to restore the EPA offices, he'd found himself not rejuvenating soil, but checking combat reports of EPA teams battling feral ghouls, tracking down rumors of a strange radiation-worshipping cult, and then there was the matter of flushing out sewer systems in cities that more often than not were hosts of strange cults and animal fight clubs. It was getting to the point that he was happy when a new illegal waste dump was found, as that was easy to deal with once the feral ghouls were removed. Then he got the report of the Flesh Forrest of Oregon, and he thought it was a sick joke or a prank. He thought it was kind of funny at first, given how absurd it was. Then a Secret Service arrived to escort him to the White House, and his smile faded. Julia stared at the patch of what he was told was grass before him. It looked like it was made of skin. Its roots looked like veins, and it had creepy, unnerving, hollow faces that seemed to follow movement. One of his escorts, who just saw the thing for the first time, stuck a stick towards it, and everyone in the room visibly recoiled when said grass reacted, including President Granite. So yeah, Director Coleus, meet your newest problem. I'm sure you were briefed on the flight over. Granite tried to ease the tension in the room. This is not what I signed up for, said Coleus in a dull monotone. I mean, why does a forest of flesh even exist? That's what I want you to find out. It's contained, but I want it eradicated. Find out what the hell is going on in Oregon. You have the nation's assets at your disposal. What do you need? Asked Granite. Coleus looked at the disturbing grass on the table. One thing crossing his mind. Get me the chemical core. Chemical core, or how I learned to love FEV. Alright. The last person anyone in the chemical core compound of Fort Sierra was... Or, I don't know if that's a strange sentence. Especially as it made its way to the FEV containment site. The officer on duty was floored when Coleus demanded every ounce of FEV curling 2 be loaded onto transports and sent to Oregon. Said officer on duty had to call down Colonel Doughty, as not only was Coleus emptying the remaining stocks of FEV curling 2, but he was also ordering it back into production. First off, only the president could order that. Second, she had fought tooth and nail to keep the small batch she had around for study to develop an antidote or something. She demanded just what authority Director Coleus had to give such demands. He was then promptly handed over an order signed by President Granite, directly giving the EPA director carte blanche to take whatever he needed. Alright. Hold on. It grants division speed, division attack, division defense. Gain annex war goals on everyone who is not a puppet of the United States. Well, that's exactly what we need. Okay, what is this? 600 units of American T-45D power armors added to the national stockpile. Claims when it unlocks terror dispute decisions on Texans Arms Association former core territories. I think that all of this is basically going to be moot if I push this button. I mean, I might as well just go ahead and flag all of those. Alright, the Flesh Forest. Despite its popular name that had been thrown around, there was a surprising lack of trees in the area. At least the exterior of the perimeter, Coleus, joined by Colonel Doughty, looked at the strange skin-covered grass and shuddered. Well, Coleus did. Doughty found the place oddly fascinating. Just test the damn thing, ordered Coleus. Using an old converted tanker truck from the army, the FEV was coated over the pale grass. As the spray settled, a piercing, high-pitched hiss emanated from the affected area, creating an eerie atmosphere of uncertainty whether it was a reaction to the FEV or a result of the grass itself. Within mere minutes of exposure to the FEV, the grass began to disintegrate and transform into a noxious, corrosive bile that caused more than one soldier to puke. Colonel Doughty ordered the neutralizing agent sprayed, the white foam carpeting the grass and stabilizing the FEV and rendering it inert, as well as solidifying the bile. One of the chemical corps soldiers scraped up the mess with a shovel. Colonel Doughty looking at it. Well, we'll need to clean up the residue, but it worked. I can live with that. Let's just get this over with, spoke Coleus. We're gonna need a lot of it. Alright. Mole rats have affected the undercity of New Canaan. Central North Pacific. Serving as our North Pacific Fleet headquarters, Naval Base Kitsap served to keep America's submarines and carriers fueled, supplied, and families housed while operating in the Northern Pacific. It became the focal point of what became known as the Battle Beneath the Pacific against the Chinese submarine fleet during the Resource Wars. Of course, it meant it was targeted by the Chinese nuclear bombardment that started the Great War. Thankfully, over 200 years after the Great War, we've been able to restore the base to operational capacity, including the massive fuel silos, were the hallmark of the base pre-war. Semper Fortis, dedicated naval warfare, and Naval Base Ventura was home to a diverse mix of units, facilities, and infrastructure that assisted the Navy in its war effort. It's a mystery as to why it wasn't targeted with nuclear bombs during the Great War. Sadly, however, an error in robotic programming allowed scavengers to pick the site clean, forcing us to start over from scratch. Most of the base has been restored, including getting the base's radar up and running, and the Navy has turned it into an auxiliary command node for Pacific operations, as well as restoring the supply railhead for our ships in the Pacific. However, the Navy's real goal at Naval Base Ventura was the establishment of the West Coast Naval Academy, ready to train a whole new generation of naval officers for the United States Navy. Ventura Naval Academy opened its doors to a series of fresh cadets ready to sail the Emerald Seas and are being trained by what a few naval officers the Enclave had left. The Naval Command hoping to restore their depleted numbers as a result of the Great War. Alright. Naval Academy, a Ventura Naval Base. Alright, Coleus is making some headway on the Flesh Forest, and continued recon of the area has determined that it's emanating from the old Future Tech labs. What little we know about the place was taken over by a mysterious ghoul who enthralled the tribals in the area with strange dances, among other things. He even managed to get a few crusaders from Idaho into his employ. However, it's unknown what exactly happened to him or much of his followers, as they were gone by the time we entered the area. However, Coleus and Colonel Dowdy have hit a bit of a snag with their efforts, in so much as the large area is becoming a hassle to clean up. Even if the FEV is neutralized, we can't risk even an ounce of that virus getting into the soil. Further, the biomass residue left behind is an unknown factor. Coleus has overcome this by collecting dozens of pre-war combines to help rip up the earth. However, it's going to take some time to get them all working properly and modify them. Given the size of the forest, it's going to be some time. One quibble. Combines don't rip up the earth. Tillage equipment does. Alright, Masters of the Wasteland. Complete. What do we have over here? Nuclear Defense Operations Command. A lot of that probably is going to be unnecessary. Because we should now have war goals against everybody. So,
Enclave here. Enclave here.
Let's get some troops down on the Eureka border.
This is Enclave main comm.
And basically, it's going to be as fast as we can move troops into position. Now, we don't want to hit anybody. Circle Junction rejoins. Send couriers to Dramate. We send couriers to Strathholm. Where are my decisions to power up? Grids should be here. The trees have arms. Well, in the flesh fields of Oregon they do. Coleus stated that what looked like a tree in shape, but appeared more like a human in form. Branches looked like arms, and from the ends of fingers grew hair in a twisted mockery of the human form. Members of the EPA and Chemical Corps were moving medical scanners over it as he shivered where he stood. Fascinating. Do you think it has internal organs? It draws nutrients from the ground, asked Colonel Doughty as she casually sipped tea. I don't want to know. I just want it gone. As the scientists stepped back, a sentry bot modified with chainsaws rolled forward. As it started cutting into the tree, the thing came to life and began using its branches to pummel the sentry bot before grabbing it and ripping it apart. Coleus stood there mouth agape, along with pretty much the rest of the assembled team, at the concept that this tree was a bit more animated than expected. Doughty calmly sipped her tea. Alright, so do we want to hit the Great Cons? Because we don't really need to wait for that justification anymore. Probably. What else do we have going on?
Enclave here.
It'll free up some stuff. Alright, our intelligence crew deployed to the structure's control room. Okay, so we took care of a radioactive leak. Alright, can we move some planes into the area? We can. I don't think we're going to need much more than that. Let's go ahead and declare war, annex them, hit it.
Enclave here.
Report from the Oregon containment site. Coleus and the EPA have started taking the fields in a spiral, and through it, they managed to push towards the future tech labs, albeit slowly. Things progress smoothly with the chemical sprayers and combines, treating it almost like a field. However, they've hit trees, and those trees are incredibly violent. Medical scans have shown them to lack a brain, though they seem to have a modified human digestive system. It's removing them that's becoming the problem, as any damage done to them causes them to react defensively, and one destroyed a sentry bot. The chemical cores has taken to spraying them with FEV. However, the process takes a full day to come into effect, and even then, there is a matter of the roots. At the rate they are going, it's looking like it could take up several months, especially given the density of the forest as we close into the future tech labs. Let's see. Operation Lumberjack, I guess. How do you fellow Forrest? Apparently throw the U.S. Air Force at it. While Colonel Doughty's Chemical Corps had been instrumental in putting a dent into the trees, the process took an entire truck's worth of FEV and posed a danger to anyone who got close. Was a danger as anyone who got close was in danger of being pummeled, whether the trees reacting to their flesh being melted off. Plus, there was the whole psychological damage that was going to be needed to address shortly. From the back of the Jeep, Colonel Doughty stirred her tea as everyone else looked into the sky. Hoping to get fast results, the President ordered the Air Force to hit the area with heavy ordnance to uproot and destroy the flesh trees. There, I see them, pointed Coleus. Everyone looked to see the contrails of the approaching bombers. Hundreds of them packing the heaviest bombs the Air Force could muster that wasn't nuclear. All was silent as the bombers passed overhead, and heard the whistling of the bombs being dropped. No, my great-great-great-grandfather helped the Air Force seed chemicals in the air with planes like that. Dowdy commented. Calmly, Coleus whipped around. Coleus whipped around before the blasts hit them, nearly knocking everyone over who wasn't ready, save for those in power armor or braced. Alright, blow them up. Yeah, they were fairly well armed. Not well armed enough. All right. Report on Operation Lumberjack. Initial reports from Oregon show that the high-yield carpet bombing was effective at leveling 73% of the trees around the Future Tech offices. Not only were the trees uprooted, but the shockwaves also liquefied their internal organs, leading to many of the trees dying off. The EPA and Chemical Corps had moved in and are actively cleaning up the remains, as well as progressing faster on their FEV spraying across the area. The only issue from this is much of the infrastructure in and around Crowshaven had been utterly destroyed. And the relief efforts are slow to respond due to the flesh fields, though the Fargo traders are making an effort to restore their trade post and bring assistance to the area. Regardless, Director Coleus is hopeful that the end of this nightmarish episode will soon be over, and he can return to more normal work like cleaning up nuclear waste sites. Alright, well, we're at the end of the episode, I think, so we'll go ahead and stop here. We're working on that. I don't know why it's still there. There we go. We have some stuff ready. Install police forces. Strath Commune becomes a federal commonwealth. 60 days. That could be a slight issue. Slight issue. We should probably hit the Marshall Republic, the Great Khans, and all that before Strath Commune becomes a member of the U.S. So, I guess we'll work on that at the beginning of the next episode. So for now, we'll stop here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.